Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Larry O'Neill Adamson, Thomas Earl Alderson, Kenneth Orville Alfstad, Robert Warren Allen, Roscoe Ammerman, Roland Ballantine Jr., Stanley Howard Barrett, Ralph Gilbert Bartley Jr., Mark Andrew Bateman, Martin Edward Bixler, Harry Lee Bowles, Nelton Raymond Bryant, Wayne Philip Bundy, Michael Joseph Byron, George Angelo Cabano Jr., Billy Jack Clayton, Donald Jean Cleaver, Dawson Clements, James Kenneth Connor, Ronald Lee Conroy, Larry Lee Costley, Arthur Raymond Coughlin, Donald James Kramer Jr., Kenneth Leroy Cunningham, Michael Dennis Diaiello, James Arthur Daniels, Francis Wilmer Dill Jr., David Joseph Delangelo, David A. Disrude, William Whitby Duck, Raymond Louis Echevarria, Alton Leon Ellison, Eugene Lee Elwood, Randall Clyde Engram, Donald Vern Freeman, Louis Jean Fritz, Michael Raymond Folk, Antonio Garza, Francisco Hiron, Alan Edward Gomes, Robert Ani Goodman Jr., James Howard Graff, Paul Leroy Graffy, Dale Jean Granger, Willie Green Jr., Joseph Grasoffi, Paul Hamilton Jr., David Lee Hann, John Brayton Harlow Jr., Larry Drew Harvey, John Michael Hens, Joe Hibbler Jr., Ralph Taylor Higdon, Harold Herman Hurdle, Wallace W. Hopkins Jr., Ronald David Horn, Theodore Howard, Thomas Eugene Johnson, James Harold Johnson Jr., Gregory Thomas Jones, James E. Jones, Ronald Runyon King, Kenneth John Koch, John Clarence Kozich,
James Charles Krause, David Allen Coons, Leon Parnell Lampley, Johnny Lee Lawrence, Daniel L. Lee, Stephen Edward Legler, Stephen Ernest Lucas, John William Lucier, Kenneth A. Maloney, James Edward Mann, John Warren Martin, Terry Lee Martin, Bernard Joseph Masney, Michael Lesty McCaffrey, William W. McCarrick, Calvin Eugene McGilton, Wayne Thomas McGuire, Gregory Dean McKeague, William Lee McLaughlin, Alex Leon McLean, Daniel R. Metter, James Lee Merrick Jr., Robert Wake Miles, Ronald John Miller, Michael Lee Miller, Donald Lee Montgomery, Denver Moore Jr., Chris Delano Munson, Van Harold Newville, Reginald Nicholas, Fred Contreras Nunez, Victor M. Ornelas Arellano, Calvin Moore Perkins, David B. Perot, Jerry Lee Pierce Jr., Ralph Donald Raber, Dennis Dean Reese, Charles Joseph Rogiers, Claude Tillman Roper, Richard A. Rosbeck, Myron Rudolph Ross II, Michael John Sampson, Ralph Schiavone, William Ward Scoville, Michael Dwayne C., Adam Ernest Simpson Jr., Roger Lee Smith, Jerome Joseph Smith, Charles Wayne Stevens, John Gregory Strobel, James Edward Thomas, David Albert Thorpe, Robert Dale Tomlinson, Thomas Harry Tribatoski, Howard D. Ulmer Jr., Olin Lee Upshaw, George Allen Waldron, Charles James Wallace, Benjamin Irvin Warren, Billy Wells, Raymond Lee Wheeler, Dennis Lee Williams, Eddie Lee Williams, Leroy Williams Jr., Walter Ray Winters, Dennis Arthur Wirt, Walter Clarence Wright, William Randolph Young, Lawrence Chris Zietlow.